Hi guys, my name is Barry and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be doing a review for Don't Breathe. I feel like it's best to look at Fede Álvarez's work again because I absolutely loved Evil Dead and I loved Don't Breathe the first time I seen it as well, and obviously in the lead up for his next feature film, Alien Romulus. Now of course, as usual with these older movie reviews, there is going to be spoilers in this video, so if you haven't seen the film and you don't want to be spoiled, then don't watch the video. However, if you don't mind spoilers, or if you have seen the film, then continue watching. Three burglars break into a blind man's house to steal some settlement money that he received for the involuntary manslaughter of his daughter. But after waking him up, they realise it's not just the money he's trying to hide. We follow Rocky, Alex and Money. If we look at Alex, he's the key to these break-ins because his dad works security in Detroit around this area that they're doing the break-ins, so he's got the keys to all the houses. But so they don't pin it on Alex's dad, what they do after the break-in is they smash a window or a door so it looks like it's a break-in instead of just simply using one of the security keys to get into the house. With that security firm, Alex's dad works for a company that does the security around all the houses in this area. It's a pretty rundown area, so I can't imagine there's a lot of houses that are actually got people in them. So with all the houses that have got people in them, he's got access to the keys to all of them. Rocky has got a horrible life. Her dad left when she was young, so it's just her mum and her little sister. But her mum's got a new boyfriend and she doesn't really pay attention to her daughter. So it seems like Rocky acts as the mother figure to her little sister, whereas her mum just doesn't care. There's not much to know about Money. He's just one of those wheeler dealers. He goes to some guy to try and sell some things and that's about it. So there's not too much we know about Money. It does allude to Money being the boyfriend of Rocky with some of the dialogue that we hear, but it's not concrete. The good thing is we find out all this information about our three main characters before they even get to the blind man's house. And that's a good thing because we're now invested in all these characters. Even Money, that we don't know too much about, because we've got a bit of a backstory and we've got his connection to the other two characters. We go into this thinking, right, okay, we're invested in these three characters now. Do we really want something to happen to them? All we know about the blind man is he was ex-military. He had to come home because he got blinded in war. A grenade went off in his face and it blinded him and left some shrapnel in his eyes. And also he had a daughter who was killed by accident by another woman. She got away with the accident and there was a settlement figure that the blind man got, which was around about $250,000. So the fact that these people want to go into his house and steal that money, it means that if anything happens to them, it's their own fault. And at some points in the film, before you find out the semi-twist, is you really don't want anything bad happening to the blind man because he's blind and his daughter is dead, so we're really rooting for him at this moment. Money is the first one to go, and at that point, I still felt kind of sorry for Money because he died and he was just trying to earn a living, even though he's doing a bad thing. But at the same time, I was still rooting for the blind man because he genuinely looked scared as well as trying to defend himself. But then there was something about him that I thought, is he up to something? Because he seems a little bit too tactical, as if he's not just trying to protect his money, he's trying to protect something else. As the film progresses, we find out that yes, there is something else he's trying to hide. There is a woman down in the basement that he's holding, and straight away I knew who that woman was. I knew it was going to be the person that accidentally killed his daughter. But even at that point, I was like, okay, she never got the jail because rich people don't get the jail, which is what he said. I still kind of felt sorry for him at that time because he's only doing what a movie-related father would be doing. It happens all the time in films. But then we find out that he's trying to get her pregnant so that she can give him a child again because she took his last child off of him. And I thought that was really creepy. And I thought, obviously, he's sexually abusing her, but he isn't. He's doing, I wouldn't say he's doing something worse. He's just doing something equally as evil. And he's trying to impregnate her with a turkey baster. And I thought that was nuts. Unfortunately for him, when Rocky and Alex are trying to get out, he accidentally kills the woman that killed his daughter. So he needs somebody else to take over so he can impregnate them. And he captures Rocky. That was the moment it was revealed in how he was trying to impregnate the last woman with this turkey baster. I don't think that scene really needed to be in the film, especially with the slow motion and the stuff coming out of the turkey baster. It was there. It was a shocking moment and a moment that I really didn't need to see. Luckily, Alex was still alive at this point and I thought he died, but he managed to save Rocky and she got out, but in doing so, he got himself killed. So Rocky is the only person here still alive and trying to get away from the blind man. And there was a scene when she escaped and the dog was after, the blind man's dog, and she gets into this car. It reminded me of Cujo, which reminds me I really need to do a review for Cujo again. But I loved that moment because it felt like another movie within this movie. This wasn't the end for Rocky because the blind man got her back to his house. Luckily for Rocky, Alex gave her this remote control that if you can't press buttons on the security alarm, there's a remote control. If you're close enough proximity to it, then you're able to set off the alarm. So she manages to do that so the police can come and hopefully save her. But when she does it, it hurts the man because obviously he's got sensitive hearing, and she manages to almost kill him and send him down into the basement. But he survives, and so does she. The thing about the ending is he can't report her because if he reports her for stealing the money, she will say, yeah, I stole the money, but he had someone locked up in the basement and he buried her under the floorboards, so he can't really say anything. And it's the same with her. Because she took the money, she can't say that this guy was holding this other girl hostage for all this time. And the reason that she done it, and I can understand it, is because she wanted a better life for her little sister. If she didn't have a little sister, if her little sister already had a good life, then I would question her motives as to why she didn't say anything. But I think it worked best for both parties. Both of them survived, but none of them got the jail. I love the whole premise of this film, using the senses as one of the gimmicks in it. It is a home invasion movie at the end of the day, but it's a home invasion movie with that twist because of you're using the senses. And if you've got a film with a blind man in it, you need to know how to work the camera, what you're wanting to do with this gimmick. And I think Fede Álvarez does it beautifully because there's scenes where they're stuck in the dark because the blind man can walk about in the dark. So he's shooting up the lights, turning all the lights off so that nobody has an advantage apart from him because he knows the layout of the basement, but they don't. It was incredibly well shot. Some fantastic tense moments where they're trying to keep quiet in the same room as him. Someone stands on a floorboard that creaks and he's pointing his gun and he's like pointing it towards him, doesn't know where he's pointing towards. And they're standing there like, we cannot move here. And he's got a gun pointing right at us. Some really tense moments where nothing happens. The acting was amazing throughout, especially from Stephen Lang and Jane Levy. Both of them were absolutely incredible. I don't know why neither of them are in bigger movies. I know that Stephen Lang was obviously in the biggest movie of all time, Avatar, but I'm surprised that he's not in a lot more. And it's the same with Jane Levy as well. I'm sure they've chosen wisely over their careers, but both of them are absolutely fantastic. I also loved the stories within the story with Alex. You know, he wants to stay with his dad, but you can tell he's not quite happy, so he wants to get out of there. And it's the same with Rocky as well. She's got a really bad upbringing with her mother. She wants to get her little sister out of there. I think, again, it's only money that I didn't really feel for, but the other two, I really wanted them to survive because their stories were so interesting within this bigger story. I feel like the film was non-stop. As soon as we got the introductions to all the characters that we were supposed to be interested in, then it was non-stop from there, because when they got into the house, the old man was automatically woken up, and from that moment on to the very end of the film, it was just non-stop. I'd honestly have rooted for the blind man throughout the entire movie if he wasn't doing what he'd done to the woman down in the basement. I would even root for him up until the point where he actually took this woman, because he didn't get the justice. It shows that the money wasn't the thing that he was after, because the money was still there. He didn't spend it, and he didn't move out of his home that he could easily have moved out of. He chose to stay there and kidnap this woman that killed his daughter. So what was most important to him was his daughter, but the fact that he took it to the extreme and what he was wanting to do after that, that's when I was out. I was no longer rooting for him, but I did root for him for a good 80% of the film. After we found out what he'd done, the tables turned for me. I was really rooting for Rocky. I was also rooting for Rocky anyway because she had a bad upbringing and she had a reason to do what she was doing, but I was still siding with the blind man to an extent. But then when I found out what he was doing, then it was Rocky all the way. Overall though, guys, I absolutely loved this film. A home invasion movie with a twist where the burglars are the victims. So what are your thoughts on Don't Breathe, guys? Do you think it was unique? Do you think it was as unique as I am making it out to be? Leave your comments down below. Let me know what you think, and I'll talk to you soon.
Meeting adjourned.
I'll be right back.
Coming to get you, Barbara.
Ever played Skin the Cat?
Someone to know!